27th, 2013. Open public meetings.
Sunshine Law. Notice of this public meeting has been provided to the news media and in a public notice posted at City Hall in the city of Burlington, New Jersey at the Keegan Recreational Center, 522 Wood Street, Burlington, New Jersey, as required by law. It is also posted at burlingtonislandnj.com. We ask that members of the public, including the Friends of Burlington Island, hold questions and comments until the public portion unless recognized by the chair.
Could everyone please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Carlbach,
Yes.
Caruso,
Here.
James,
Here.
and Bravo is present. Reinhardt,
Here.
Sunstein,
Here.
Worth. Here. All present.
Motion to set adjournment time, please.
Set adjournment time for 9:30. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn at 9:30. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 9:30 it is. Secretary's report.
Motion to approve. I believe I just heard Tony.
Wait for a second.
Am I waiting for a second?
Yeah. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, now.
Is this the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to read them, so can I abstain?
Sure, if you want.
We'll just take a second to read. Now, Mary, you have a question on that?
Yeah, I believe, Tony, you said that Mr. Reinhardt's name was left off for one of the...
Yes, I can add that in. That's not a problem.
As in attendance, correct?
Yes, he was in attendance. He wasn't written in as being here.
Motion to add that to the motion.
Do we need a motion for that?
Now,
We're already in.
Mary amended his motion to include the corrections. On the question, any questions on the minutes? All in favor?
You okay there?
Opposed? One abstention. Scott, do you want to abstain? Or?
Yeah, I'll just abstain. Thanks.
Treasurer's report.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the treasurer's report. Actually, we should allow the treasurer the courtesy of explaining the report. Darlene, you want to go over the report, please?
Money market account of 5/1/2013, $2,181.55. Interest paid was 9 cents.
Could you speak into the mic? This recorder won't pick it up. Is the red light on?
Underneath. Yeah, it's on now.
Okay.
I wanted to see that. There you go.
Okay, start over.
Money market account, the beginning balance as of 5/1/2013 is $2,181.55. Deposit and credit is 9 cents. The ending balance is $2,181.64. The checking account, beginning balance, $140.41. A check was written for Halston McDonald, I don't know how to say that,
Used a bit.
Ziegler and Lodge was $17, and the ending balance was $123.41. The scholarship fund, beginning balance was $146.53. Interest was a penny. The ending balance was $146.54. And the savings account, the woman fund, $37.89 was the beginning balance, and the ending balance was $37.89.
Thank you, Darlene. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to accept. On the question?
Yeah, I have one question.
Mary.
The scholarship fund, is it designated any place what we paid out in scholarships?
That's going to be on.
Next month.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then, shouldn't the be a higher balance, it should reflect what's in here?
That was the money was deposited
Yeah.
in June.
Okay, fair enough.
Do we have, well, we can take care of it after the treasurer's report as far as same for scholarships. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Committee reports. Yes, I do.
Grants is first on the list.
Grants is first, okay. We are in the process of setting up a meeting in which Aaron McCord will be attending, Aaron and Dean. So that is to be determined on the date. Okay, that's pretty much.
I would like to
You have
say
something?
something, yeah, I would like to say something about the grant from Dow and maybe Roman Haas from Bristol that, I saw Sammy Cohen not too long ago, and I was asking her about the requirements for this grant. And basically, we have to have a program set up, a summer camp, some kind of a summer project, or even a winter project, but we have to have something specific already set up and ready to go where kids would come, it's all, kind of like the Y or an after-school program. And we have to have, because if we don't have something like that set up, she said, we're probably not going to be considered for that grant.
We didn't fit the criteria.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted people to understand that. So,
Okay, fundraising committee, Hal, you have something on that?
Anybody have anything for fundraising? Because this is going to take a minute.
go ahead.
No, the
Okay.
floor is yours, Hal.
Working with Manager Sonstein, what was how they talked about, we pretty much worked out on the nuts and bolts on a wine and cheese fundraiser. We haven't exactly worked out the date in September. I do believe we can make a good income from this. And my recommendation is, I made the recommendation to Manager Sonstein, we start inviting people from outside limits, city limits, like doctors, lawyers, engineering firms, and so forth, so we can get a bigger pool base of people that has a little more influential finances to stay. This also will go into the web area. Next thing for fundraising, I do have the Square D card reader. I'm willing to donate, but somebody needs to make a motion to accept it and set it up with the treasurer, so we can take direct debit card and credit card donations at a fundraiser or at another event.
There's not anything that we have to do with the credit card companies to...
Nope, it's all
Nope.
for Square D. Square D takes 2.8%, and the funds will be deposited within 24 hours into the account.
Okay.
You can have it set up to only limited people, 2 or 3 people, like treasurer, board president, vice president, or the secretary. You can have it set up to where you only can take it, you cannot give refunds, etc. And you can have it set up to where you can text message a receipt to that person, or send an email receipt.
And that's all through a cell phone?
All through a smartphone, or a tablet, or an iPad.
I've seen those, they're like a little small piece that connects into your phone and you can just swipe and go pretty much.
And it's a cash register. I didn't grab one, because I have several, and it's better than trying to get pocket change out of somebody.
Almost uses it for their...
Yes.
So can they log on to it through our website, or how would you see it?
There's another piece to this coming on their website.
You want to add to that? I mean, more conversation, I don't know.
Okay. If the board so chooses, I'm donating it to the board free.
I have no problem with it. Anybody else got a problem?
No?
I don't have a problem.
Now, but it has to be coordinated with the treasurer, so she.
Yes, because
Set up
it
the
has to
bank.
have the financials of the routing number and so forth.
Okay.
Bank
Also,
routing number, okay.
Yeah.
There's one more, as a nonprofit, you do need to put in your federal employee ID number, so the board must have that. Work as a nonprofit.
I have that.
I also have it via email from
Okay.
the former president, Jim Cipriano.
That has to be plugged in.
And what was the name of this reader again? I'm sorry.
Square up,
Square Up?
yes.
There was one other thing, Tom, Al, you want to bring it up? We had to talk about it, and that is the 5013C reports from the treasurer. It has to be done?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
So you want to explain it?
Okay, looking at, going through a lot of different websites to try and find this board. And one of them was Guide Star, that was founded by Bill Gates and his wife. I cannot find this organization anywhere. I cannot even find this organization through the IRS. The paperwork, when Jim turned it over to the next president on a short year, that paperwork was never done. We need to find the paperwork from the IRS and download the paperwork to get it together.
I'm gonna have to look at that box that Mary passed on to me that had all the
There should be a
paperwork.
pamphlet
Jim,
with the basics.
Tony, actually, you had that little pamphlet.
And I had turned it over,
Let me make
I
a note of
believe
this.
it was when I had went to Spain, because I knew I wasn't going to be here to,
So now, exactly what are you looking for? Paperwork from the IRS?
Yes, that
Indicating that we are at
And
501.
I need to work with the treasurer and the president so we can get, I know where to find, I've helped with another 990 form with another nonprofit here in the county. The instructions is 100 pages. We're lucky, we're under $2,000, so it's somewhat an easy to fix. It's a little time consuming. We need to do it now.
I suspect you can get the forms off the IRS.
Yes,
website.
order off the PDF format and print them out.
Okay.
Because we don't want to lose this designation.
But what you're saying is you couldn't find us
No,
as a designated
no,
501.
cannot find it. Because what it is, donators and foundations or philanthropists give to an organization, they want to see your 990. This comes back to the website also, things need to be done there for transparency. Also, there's quite a few other pieces of criteria that they look at and where the money goes. But I gotta get back to fundraising. The next thing is, under fundraising, the next way that we can bring in money to this board 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, if somebody so chooses to do so, is through a PayPal account. That's where I need the treasurer and the president of the company, the organization, set that account up so we can take transfers right from there, right through the website.
Okay, so we would solicit money and then,
Yeah, your website, somebody sees the website, how to make a contribution, now they gotta fill out a check in an envelope and send it to us. It's not working. We're going into the digital age of now, they use their PayPal account or another card, we can take a donation right from the website. I'm trying to get this website to work for us.
So that's something that would have to be set up a PayPal account.
Yes.
my question is, can we do this asking for contributions just for the board, or do we have to, excuse me, for operating expenses?
Yes.
Or we can?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do it for all.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
I
that
have another
Yes.
question.
we could do that.
What did you need for the IRS?
It's the 990 form, short form.
Yeah,
Or
I got it.
the actual year, the real form. That's in a PDF format, and the instructions.
Yeah, they did not send us. I do, because I'm actually looking in the record now, I have the original letter from when we were approved, and I also have our contact person with the IRS and his phone number and ID number, if that would help you.
That helps.
It says form
Well,
kind required.
Yes.
It says yes.
Yes, but they never sent us
Well,
one
that
that
should be-
I was given.
That should be the treasurer's responsibility, not ours.
Yeah, but, well, I'll write down the contact information, who's going to contact
Somebody's
them.
gonna have to coach her through it because she's fresh
Well,
and wasn't here for the,
It's not a problem.
Somebody at the IRS will be able to do that for you. They're pretty helpful.
Yeah, well, I have our contact person's name and his ID number and a phone number where to reach him, so I'll give a copy to Ms. Kelly and Hal as well.
Okay, one more thing, under the nonprofit, 501c3, we need to do the state one also.
Do you know the number of that form?
Not offhand.
so we got one's the 990. Is there anything in reference to that?
There's nothing in reference to the state whatsoever.
Should not the state have also sent us a letter once it's up
Once
to
you get it,
us?
but you gotta keep up on yourself. Thank you.
Wait, I have a question. Well, actually, it's a question for the board. When Hal was talking about having the wine and cheese, how do we feel about having the board members covering the cost of the wine and cheese?
Well, when Hal and I talked about it, I offered the inn to do it, and we discussed about costs, and it all depends on the response. So we gotta go out there and find out what's
First
happening,
find out, okay.
and then we can work out.
Okay. Because I would be willing to donate money for the...
On the wine end of it, I could probably
Yeah,
supply the
wine.
wine. Don't say that too loud.
One more thing.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, there's two more things. When a board member makes a contribution, you have to make very careful notations of that, because that also has to be reported on the 990 form. Everything has to be reported.
Right.
Okay, so that would include things like the scholarships and
Yes.
stuff? Okay. Okay.
It's part of a transparency, especially when you get for a donator. Also, I talked to the owners of Legends Pizza. I just reminded them, because they all, prior to the elections, they are going to help us do a give back night at Legends.
We did that once before.
And it worked out
It's
well.
we got to figure out a date now, because it takes 3 months to get a night, roughly.
And that did work out
Last time
well
we
the
made
last
over
time.
$200.
It was like 400. Don?
On the ideas that Hal has here, it's possible that we could put on our website, just like a lot of other companies and businesses do, where they have a page of items that are for sale. And what I mean by that is, it's like, I have the 100 pictures of Burlington Island on a disc. We have pictures of the postcards of when the island was, an amusement park, things like that. It's possible we could put things on there, and even if we only charge $5 or $10 for it, somebody might be interested in putting it, then they could buy it, put it on PayPal, and it's done with, one of those. On that wine and cheese, it might be interesting to find out if we could find somebody that actually wants to sponsor.
Well, that's all part of the
Yeah.
process. And when you speak about, what did you speak, I'm having a senior moment here. About the donation. I've already talked, I've got a report on the website, but I've already talked to him, and I want to create a page that is strictly for a donation page, which spells all
Right.
that out.
Okay, I need a motion for it to accept the square date.
Motion so made.
Second.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded authorizing manager James to set up the Square D for donations.
PayPal.
and we have another one for some PayPal also.
Let's do this one first. On the question, does anybody have any questions or comments?
I think it's a great idea when you can give the kids in Burlington City hope if they're into science and engineering, that an engineering firm might help sponsor them in the future for their education. And also combines into the stewardship, which I hope we will talk about later. But that being said, I think it's excellent because, you know, you have kids that they need something, they need help. This Burlington's one of 33 poorest school districts in the state of New Jersey, out of 585. And I got to believe that there are outside entities. I think it's a great idea to get engineering firms, law firms, healthcare firms to donate and sponsor this, you know, the education of the kids. I think it's great.
And if I may add to that, I'm on the grant committee also, and Hal and I, we've been talking about it, and Hal and I have talked about specifically targeting needy kids who have done the best, have elevated themselves in school, give them a reason, blue collar kind of, there's no engineer, there's no electricians, there's no plumbers, we were talking about that kind of situation, so you've got all these different levels you can go after.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We need a motion for the
PayPal, we
I'll
should.
make a motion to set up for the treasurer to set up a PayPal account so we can deal with the card reader. Need a second.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to set up a PayPal account through our website, correct?
No,
Yes, through the website.
website.
Through the website.
But it's
No,
gotta be done.
not Square D, its own operating system.
Okay,
Square D's
ties
different
into
than
the bank.
PayPal.
Square up, you mean?
Yeah, Square Up,
But it
yes.
ties it right into the bank.
Yes.
I did it once with I had
Yeah.
some.
PayPal and Square Up is two different
Right,
entities.
Okay.
this is the PayPal, and this is through the website, correct?
Yes.
Okay, done. That's my motion.
On the question. All in favor? Opposed? Okay,
One more thing on fundraising, if I may.
correct.
I had been thinking about it, and I also had another suggestion. I was thinking, since we're just getting into summer, perhaps we should think about not a fundraiser, but like a backpack drive for the kids. Maybe Mary and I could contact the schools and see what type of supplies the schools need or what types of supplies they give to needy students. And I could ask some of the businesses downtown if they'd be willing to post a list and have a large box inside their stores. And maybe we could also set out little jugs for them to also donate. If they don't have any supplies with them, they could donate money so that we may purchase supplies for September for the schools.
As the head of the grant committee, I now give you the permission to do that. Just let me know what's going on. Fundraising.
Tony, I have a boatload of information for you on that. Just through Broke Coat Factory.
Exactly. One of the things that we want to first.
Because I know Mary's in contact with Kelly May, so I figured, because not only do the students need supplies, but more often than not, the teachers need supplies that the school won't pay for, that either they pay for out of their own pocket or they just do without. So I thought maybe it'd be something nice to do, since we have all summer to put boxes and donation jugs out.
I believe we need to come up with a motion to go on the wine and cheese.
So moved.
Well, you're still
Oh,
actually in the
well, you're
research.
still working on that.
You're still in the research phase.
We have to bring it. We have to bring the deal to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see how this board drags its feet on some things, and it's irritating.
You bring us a date and you'll get it,
Yeah.
Well,
once it's finalized.
but
You got a lot more work to do.
Well, yeah, but one of the things is that the board members have to supply us with dates that they're available. Otherwise, we're out in the cold.
It's nighttime,
Well, you just tell me when you're available. Everybody
after dark.
after dark.
I'm available as long as I have about 3 weeks' notice in advance to request off from
Well,
work.
I understand, but how about for you, 11 o'clock on Sunday night then?
3 o'clock in the morning is fine.
All right, we'll we'll get it together.
All right, do I need any type of permission to move forward on the backpack fundraiser? No? Okay.
If it falls on
I'll
the
get together
committees,
with you.
Okay. Yes, Island Environment, Manager Reinhardt.
Yeah, the environment on the island is in pretty good shape. For approximately the last 2.5, 3 months, I've been working on the trails, keeping fields clear. I just got them basically all finished. I'm staying away from where the Eagles nest is, so I'm not going down that way at all, keeping that basically off limits. Scott can give a report on where the Eagles, how the Eagles are doing over there. Probably this weekend, I'm going to start removing trash and rubbish out of the barrels and getting them out off the island and stuff like that and everything, because I mainly try to get all the trails clear first to make them safe and usable, and then I go back and start working on the trash and everything like that. But otherwise, everything over there looks fine.
Actually, the eagle's nest isn't a problem anymore because the eaglets have fledged. So,
No, it's a problem, you know, still
but it's,
they don't want to beat them.
Well, it's protected till July 31st. And then
So we're
oh,
still
that's right,
another
yeah, July
month away.
31st, yeah.
A month away.
How is the area where they shoot the fireworks off? How's the grass there?
I haven't gotten out to there yet. I'll be doing that this weekend.
Okay. Let me know if there's a problem.
Okay.
I would imagine it's green. There's nothing that's brown right now with all this rain.
Well, that may be true, but I want to make sure because with the chamber, I'm involved, the chamber we're involved in.
That's 2 months.
I
I
had
just
to
want to make sure that we got no problems.
I had to clear on the trail going in that direction. We had over Scott will tell you about it. We had probably 25, 30 trees down across the trail, so it was virtually impossible to even get to it. So you had to work your way down, you know, each weekend to get a little closer. Right now to the end of the lake, so now I'm starting to go back up and start heading out towards the where they shoot the fireworks off.
Cool.
But that should be clear probably within the next 2 weeks.
Just let me know between now and the time of the fireworks if you think there's a problem.
And the fireworks, that's beyond the point of protection of the Eagles, right? When are the
Yeah, it's not
fireworks?
in the- it's not in the
What's that, the
area.
Festival of
Yeah,
Lights?
yeah, because the whole thing, the dangerous period is when they're still in the nest.
Right, okay.
So,
All right. Correspondence. I have a few things. I have a payment notice for the post office box. It's actually due by the end of this month. 6 months for $32, 12 months for $64, so they don't give you any break. It's just a matter of, do we want to pay for the year or just 6 months? $32 for 6 months, $64 for 12 months. So basically,
yeah.
they're not giving you any part.
You don't pay for the first 6 months.
Jabbers.
Huh?
You're trying to cause me.
Well, you put the other 32.
I tell you. Yeah, okay.
You got it?
You got half, I got
Okay.
half. Well, I tell you, Mary. You're still.
On behalf of the board, I thank you.
You're still getting my
Both.
skin.
Please make sure the record reflects that.
Putting
We
it
have to
in there.
really keep track of that,
Right.
especially with the
Well,
treasurer.
the president will get arrested from the IRS. That's a.
Well, any money donated during the meeting, whether it's for scholarships or a bill, I always include it in on the
Yeah.
record, so
They
you
also
will
ask
see
it
that
to
in the
the
minutes.
treasurers too.
You will see that in the minutes.
Okay. Moving on with correspondence, I have the affidavit from the newspaper for the ad. I believe that's the change in the meeting date. When we changed the meeting date, now there should be a bill here for them also.
How much was the post office box bill?
It's 32 for 6, 64 for 12, so we're just going to pay the whole year, 64.
So 32 from Primavera and 32 from Lillian, correct?
And this is the bill for $29.20 for the change in the meeting on 5:30. We changed the meeting. I believe that manager, the problem is expense there. So whipping line.
That's what I do.
Then there is a note from the bank. Governmental Unit Deposit Protection Act notification. So I'll just give this to the secretary to be filed. One last piece of correspondence. I'm not quite understanding this because I thought we just paid this. I know we only have 2 insurance policies. This came from Haynes and Haynes, and it is the bond renewal policy. And I know that we just renewed that dishonesty bond. So, should I give this to the
They
treasurer?
might have crossed over. Hey,
No, this bill is dated, it says 31 to 60 days, meaning it's late, and I don't see how, and the date was 6/3.
Let me, if you don't mind, what is mine? I'll look into this. I took care of the bond issue, and I'll walk it up the right street from.
And I'm sure we just recently paid it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
So I'm thinking it's a mix-up, but here's the paperwork. That's it. Does any other manager have any correspondence? I checked the post office box today. There was nothing else, so.
only correspondence going out.
Okay. This should be given to the treasurer. That is the, pay the PO box.
Yes, Ms. Pam,
There's,
for the bill.
that's for the,
And I guess we would still need a motion to pay these bills, even though there's donations.
I make a motion to pay the post office bill and the advertising invoice.
second.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded to pay 2 bills. One to Bucks County Courier Times for the change in meeting date, and one to pay 1 year to the post office for the PO box. And Mary, we need to get her checks pretty quick, because she's got to cut that by the 30th, which is in a few days.
Well, she can write the check and register it first.
That's true. There's enough to cover it,
So,
okay.
the treasurer would write a check for the post office box.
64 hours.
Yeah, and, we will reimburse you personally for that.
Okay. No, what's that? It's gonna be an old business.
Okay.
It's a public portion. What's that?
Yeah, I said.
You made a motion and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, those 2 bills will be taken care of. I'm now going to open the public portion. Any member of the public wishing to speak, step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Go over here. Jamie Zalot, 506 Locust Avenue. About the 501c3, I believe that was done pro tem. It wasn't done on a full-term basis. I think it was done for maybe 5 years. So the 501c3 was granted on a short-term basis. That may be why you don't have that 990 form.
No, we're under a probationary period for
Yeah.
2 years where they review, but at the end of the 2 years, we don't expire. They determine if we're permanent or.
But that
we
may
don't
be
get it.
why that 990 form is not there.
No, I believe we have to download that and do that ourselves.
Okay. Also, that bond is probably the treasurer's bond. The treasurer is bonded separately.
I'm gonna check it out.
We only had 2 policies,
Yeah.
period.
That's okay. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay. Also, I'm glad to see that there's some fundraising going on. I also want to mention again, crowdsourcing is a good way to raise money. They're doing wonderful things with crowdsourcing. You put up a site, you do a short video, you put up a site, people donate any amount, a small amount of money. They can donate $1, they can donate $100,000. Instead of dealing with even just people in this county, you deal with people all over the world. So people from, not even just from New Jersey, deal with people from Europe will donate money, and that's people that aren't involved in local politics. So they have no reason. There's people around here that are really frustrated with Burlington Island and nothing's going to get done. People in England don't know anything about Burlington. They just know, hey, it's a historical thing. It's been, in place for hundreds of years. Let's donate to it. So that's a good place to go, and merchandising would also be a good place to go. People will buy a t-shirt that has anything on it. And then they see a t-shirt and says Burlington Island. Hey, I'd like to donate to that. And then they go to the website, and if it says burlingtonisland.com on it, they go to the website and look and see the PayPal and go, hey, I'll donate to that. People will do lots of stuff if they're given the chance. So those are my ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Any other member of the board?
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Just speak into it so that the microphone will pick it up. On the bottom, there's a button.
Underneath, turn it
Lift it up.
upside down.
Hold on.
You see the red light come on?
No. Hello.
There's a little button underneath. You just turn it on and it should like that.
Or you could just come close enough to the podium that the recorder will pick up your voice.
Charles Johnston, 51 West 4th Street, Burlington, New Jersey. I don't know if you guys are aware that there's 1 trillion gallons of fresh river artesian well water there. You have any ideas on tapping into it or getting resources off of it?
There has been some conversation by the city back about 2-3 years ago. I heard about it. And I believe some bottling company did approach the city. I do not know what happened to it, but I've thought about it, talked about it. It might be worthwhile chasing it.
Sure.
Are we talking about the wells on the island
Well,
that were capped?
The wells are capped, but they only went down 75 feet. And if they go another 75 feet, they'll tap right into 1 trillion gallons. That's where the lake comes from. It's percolated. When they closed it off, it percolated right up, and that's where your water's coming from.
And I do believe that the wells are on the Board of Island Manager's property.
I thought there was 5 now.
There's
told
8.
There's 8, yeah.
There always has been 8. I personally spoke to Cold Spring Bottling Plant, which is right there across from the U.S. Pipe. And my idea has always been to tap into one of the wells and start drawing the water out of there. And I asked them how much trouble it is to bottle water and sell it, as long as we can get it tested and approved to make sure that it's fine. And they told me, they said it's a very simple prospect, and they said they could easily supply us with the bottles, and they could easily supply us with the labels too. And I even came up with a name along, a couple of years ago of Spirit of Minnetonka Island, which to me I think is a cool name for that thing,
Can you get the man's name and can we approach him? You hire somebody on the board? Well, you've talked to him once. If you want to talk.
I talked to him, and what was interesting about it was that I said, well, how much work and how much pumping equipment do you have to put up? He says, you can draw the water up, the least amount of effort to draw it up, and even if you hand bottled it, he says, so long as the bottles are clean and sterile, he says, hand bottling will get it closer to being sold as better quality water than anything else.
You want to get with me on that, Don?
Yeah.
Do a fundraising, put it under the fundraising thing, and see if we can't come up with some kind of a plan to do
Yeah,
that.
and something else that I found that's interesting, and I actually saved a bottle, is, I don't know if anybody noticed that, we have a new business in town called Jersey Boys.
Yes.
Well, Jersey Boys, if you take a look at their bottle,
They have some bottled sodas that they
they have their own bottles
yes.
in there that says Jersey Boys on it, and they said that they found on the internet, there's a company that'll print the labels directly for them, and it would be interesting that we could actually put together something
Let's
like
see if
that.
we can do it.
Well, you could
Struck a
make your
nerve.
own labels.
They're really nice. I mean, there's and also, did you ever consider putting solar on the island?
Yeah.
Windmills.
The windmills, you don't have enough area to do. You've got prevailing winds out of the northwest, sometimes out of the southeast. That's where the prevailing winds when they come through. But let's go back up. Solar panels, there was an outfit that came in. There's not enough area for them to make it profitable. And also the federal grants to put that kind of stuff has kind of gone away.
Well, see, they don't do that no more. A company will come in and do it for nothing. It's like, I'm on the board, the land use board. We just approved 56 acres on the dump. And
But you're wide open. See, the
Right,
only open,
exactly,
the only
I
open
understand that.
space is surrounded by trees.
Right. All right, I didn't know how developed it was with trees.
No, I
and
understand. Well, you can go
overgrown.
on our website and you'll see a whole layout of the island.
I haven't seen that island since we were kids, Nicky.
You're probably the only one that hasn't been over there this summer. But not supposed to be there either.
I've been there like probably about almost 38 years.
Yeah, it grew up.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of damage from blowdowns. Every time we get a storm, that island takes a beat.
There was a lot of dredge spoils on it years ago when I was there.
Million and a half cubic yards.
Yeah. Just some food for thought.
I appreciate
It
it.
sounds like you guys have a lot of great ideas too.
If you're ever looking to be a volunteer to work on an island, we'll gladly accept
Yeah.
an offer.
I'll help out, sure, why not? I'm glad to help
Give me
out.
your name.
I know where to find it. I know where to find it.
you an axe.
I wasn't going to talk today because I'm losing my voice, but I found some things I thought was.
All right, let me, for the record, it's Mike Zaylot.
Mike Zaylot, 506 Lucas Avenue. First of all, I would hope that the board is following the Burlington Advocates page. The Burlington Advocates page. We've been putting some very good information up there that people have been giving us. For example, Tom Flatley, who worked with the board before, said that he is willing, pro bono, to write grants for the board, no charge. A person from Doc's Pub, and I'm sorry about my voice, said that the Bridge Commission will work to get you grants and charge a contingency. If they get it, there's a charge. If not, they don't charge you anything. I'm concerned about the upcoming fireworks on the island. It's now been a year since the mayor closed down the island. I haven't heard a single thing that the mayor has done to make the island safe. And if it wasn't safe for people to walk around, it sure is not safe for people to set fireworks off and start fires there. So if there's anything on that, I would like to know what the mayor has said on that. Also, there's been said that the city is going to put a marina on our side.
No, they got a $100,000 grant to do a study.
Okay, that's good then.
But I thought it was the mainland side,
It is the mainland side. So it's
by the Oneida.
the city waterfront.
Okay, that's good, thank you. The one thing I did want to mention, you guys are all doing great stuff to raise money, but the fiduciary duty of the board is to raise money from using the island. What Don said is excellent. You're using the island, the water to raise it, rather than getting donations and asking people to contribute. The board's duty by their charter is to raise money by using the island itself. And I would hope that you would follow that there. One other thing I heard, and that's that Curtin is not renewing his riparian rights with the docks that he had out there. So I heard that he was not going to do that again, so maybe the board wants to look into that. Thank you.
Just one question, Mike, who did Tom Flatley contact? Because he didn't contact the board and offer his services.
It was on the website, on the
Yeah, but that's-
Facebook page.
Correct, but who did he actually contact? He hasn't contacted the board.
I got notified. I got notified from Tom Flatley, and there was a list of other people that he said he contacted. But I can send that to you.
Yeah, do that.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Any other member of the public? Let the record reflect that Manager Sonstein has left as a board member to enter the public open session to speak as a private citizen.
Yeah, Murray Sonstein, 214 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey, Lily Inn, bed and breakfast. To make the board is aware, because they have signed off on it, they have given me permission
to try to accomplish a commercial venture of getting kayaking on the island from an outfit over in Bristol. And we've been working on it for a couple of years, and this year we're just about ready to do it. So I contacted the city, and we've had, well, basically one face-to-face meeting, and then we've had a little bit of conversations back through email. And the conditions that the city has tried to put on us have been almost impossible to meet. We've covered most of them. The last one, well, there's two situations that they required, which was a 16-foot boat. Well, it started out with a 19-foot boat down to a 16-foot boat with 2 AMTs, and they want certified lifeguards. And the people who I'm dealing with who wanted, from the Bristol side, one of them is a professional guide. The other gentleman is Pat Mulhern, who's a professional trainer, and has, anyway, to make a long story short, all the insurances and all the needs that the city required, we could cover, except for the boat. So about 2 weeks ago, I sent the city an email, and it went to Dave Ballard and copied to Pat Mulhern and to Frank Caruso, and the subject was Kayaking Island. This is Dave. I'm sending you an update regarding the kayaking use of the island. I'm working on the problem of the 16-foot boat and the EMTs. Not easy, but working on it. I would also inform you that there has been many hundreds of people on the island in the last 2 or 3 months. Having said that, I would like to make you aware that the board is losing money in fees that people would happily pay, or the board needs money. Lastly, and this is the important part, I've attached a redacted privileged letter, which is not, I have talked to the board attorney about this, it's not privileged, it's open for the public. I've attached a redacted privileged legal opinion, name of the board's attorney and the letterhead removed, explaining why the island, which is green acres and public lands, is open for the use of the public. After you've digested the above material, can we sit and talk? I got a response a day later. Let me see, what is this? Murray, I read the letter that you sent regarding the Board of Island Managers' request to the DEP with great interest. In an effort to protect everyone's interest in this matter, all requests for any island activities will be put on hold with no consideration of or any exception to the mayor's executive order until the city of Burlington has reviewed the legal opinion requested and until such time as our own attorneys have had an opportunity to review and respond. Please understand that this could be further delayed if Common Council should also request the information. Okay, so I responded to that, and this is the last response, and you'll see where we're going with this. Dave, please note the opinion I sent was written to the DEP almost a year ago. In that time, I have verbally passed that information on to the mayor many times, and have told you as well. Not once in all that time was there any request for the city for a copy of these findings. The mayor didn't want to hear it and said that the city attorney told him he had the legal right to keep people off the island. Not just the city side, but the entire island at that. As an aside, the mayor has known since the beginning that people are on the island all the time. Even more surprising to me that DP or any other body hasn't questioned the city in almost a year. What I sent to you was confirmation of what has been available to the city for almost a year. It was not sent to stir up a hornet's nest, but reading your reply seems to infer I have. Also, you seem to suggest that the Common Council might be brought into this. Not on my part, for I personally believe this is an administrative matter. So, I don't know, most of the board members up here have seen that letter. It's a six-page opinion that Mr. Ewan has sent to the DEP August 30th, 2012. And it's right on point. It talks, I mean, it's got all the legal, all the laws, as I say, it's 6 pages. They really don't have the right to keep people off the island.
So my intention at this point is, I'm not giving up on this. My intention is to give the city maybe another week or so before I start knocking on doors or screaming or kicking my feet or whatever I have to do. But I want this on the record as a private citizen. I kept it separate from the Board of Island Managers. I wear many hats. You know, I'm Chamber of Commerce and I'm a private entrepreneur in town and so forth. But I don't want to create a problem specifically with the board itself, and that's why I'm out here and advising the board as to what I've done. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Murray, I had talked with a few people associated with the closing of the island, and these were actually people that were on the police department. And it appears, the way they stated it, without giving any names, was that there was an email or a letter sent around to all the offices, the police department, the EMTs, the rescue squad, the fire department, to put together a summary of why the island needs to be shut down. To me, that sounds odd.
Well, you're absolutely correct. They came up, when this all first started, and it wasn't through me, I believe it was from the board, and when they shut the island down originally, they had gotten Mr. Frank Caruso, the head of OEM, the police department, the fire department, all to give a reason why the island is not safe to be on. Need I say that it was a little bit lopsided?
Yes.
And I think
the reasons for the island closing down were ridiculous. I'm sure most of us agree to it. The five specific reasons that they gave was that there was wild animals over there, that there were stinging hornets, there were wood ticks.
that was one of the reasons that they did speak to.
There were poisonous plants, and people poop in the woods.
Does the bear?
That was, and they did it, I think Scott was there, I think a few of us were at that city council meeting when they closed it down. They had everybody in their SWAT uniforms with their PowerPoint.
I was there.
Pointing out the whole 9 yards, and the people in the audience were virtually laughing at them.
No, I was there. I guess being out here as a private citizen speaking up, I guess I can let my thoughts go a little bit. I have said to mostly anybody who I will talk to, including Dave Ballard, that why would you want to create a 400-acre island that's totally barren and tell the DEP they can't use it? To me, there's a conspiracy theory. I've said it, it's out there, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. I have no clue. I've asked Mr. Ballard, is there any money involved from the dredge spoils to the city? I got a specific no, but I can't understand what, how, or why, and now that I can sit out here and raise my own objections or thoughts about it, I wanted this to be known so I don't put the board in any bad light.
Can I raise some thoughts? First of all, Frank Caruso, Colonel Caruso, has my utmost respect, and as the emergency service director, he was asked, what are the potential dangers, and he was put in a spot, I think. If you look legally, and I'm obviously not a lawyer, but I've worked with a lot of lawyers on legislation for 20 years. There's really not much to stand on here. In fact, the signs that they produced spoke only of the danger going to the island, not that it's unlawful. Because to be honest, an executive order by a mayor doesn't match an executive order by a governor, which also has to be justified through the attorney generals, through law and public safety, through everything else. Unfortunately, I understand the mayor's intent to be protective of liability, but at the same time, in the tort claims law, there is no precedent where a public entity can be held responsible or liable.
It's all in here.
For an accident on public lands. And if you look from Lake Oswego to Long Beach Island, Island Beach State Park, to all the way up to Sunfish Pond and High Point, there are no lifeguards. There are no inspectors and people and fire officials and others. And Dave Eckelberg, to whom I have the utmost respect, that same night in council, said he could have people on the island and off within 45 minutes and do triage if they had to, because he's a professional and he's the head of emergency services and Endeavor Emergency Squad. So I personally have been accommodating people to go out there because one problem we have is to legislative intent was for open space and recreation. Diane Allen changed the law in 1998 that hadn't been changed in 150 years, and it's still kept. The major intent was open space, recreation, and conservation. And so those three things, I don't see how he's serving the public good, to which he says he is, by eliminating kids from going out there. Now, there are quite a few people going out there from Pennsylvania. And Don, how large is the circumference of the island? Over 2 miles?
Oh, yeah, it's over 3, it's almost 4 miles around.
Almost 4 miles around.
There's no doubt.
Our police officers in this town, other people, they can't keep these people from going on the island. They can't even keep feral cats from invading Union Street. It's not their fault. It just is what it is. But you know, the bottom line is that I feel personally that if it was unlawful and there was a law in the books established, it would be there, but it can't. And I don't think that the city attorney has served the city well. I think he's built them for hours that possibly, you know, become more billable hours. But every precedent, there's never been a precedent on liability to a public entity for open space recreation, for a Rossi, recreation, open space, and right?
Well,
So,
Scott, it's all in here.
right.
You've read this, I've shown it to you.
And I believe, I mean, I don't know, as a board, I think we should give a timeline. If they've got a rebuttal, then give it, because
Well, wait a
they don't have the
minute,
legal...
well, hold it. I don't know what the
legal
board wants to do.
time.
I'm talking as a private citizen. I don't want to incorporate my angst and my situation with the board. If the board wants to go out on its own, don't use my name, and I don't want to be the spearhead that causes this, to cause you people problem. But the point is, very simply, we've got an island out there that is not being used, that is destroying the ability for the board to acquire monies and do something for the children of this town. That's the crime. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else want to?
All right, Mary, I think you went over your 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public?
Motion to take 10 minutes.
Second.
Hold on. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion.
Now I say.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded for
10 minutes.
10-minute break. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 10 minutes.